I am Rajendra Salokhe. Welcome to my systematic opening series. Now in this series, I first discuss Indo-Indian defense, then which is top in D4 openings. Then I discuss Sicilian defense, which is top in E4 openings. I have made some videos on Karokan, about 12 videos I have made on Karokan, but it's not systematic. So here I am presenting now the next popular to Indo-Indian is Queen's Gambit decline. So we'll discussing that, and while presenting I give a chart at the left hand side so that you know how the openings are proceeding. So the Queen's Gambit decline obviously starts with D4, then black plays D5, and then white plays C4, gives this pawn as a gambit. Now this is Queen's Gambit. Now if black captures this pawn, then it is accepted. If it doesn't capture, then it's declined. So the further moves are there. So normally white will play at left side. I have shown D4, D5, C4, and then lot of variations are there from C4. We'll be discussing one by one. First is our C6, which is a Slav defense. So on common variations of Slav, I have made a one already video also, and I will not be going in detail into different variations of Slav, but we'll just summarize here because that data is here with me. So we'll just summarize. Now D4, D5, C4, C6, knight C3, knight F6. Sorry, that was knight F3, knight F6, knight C3, and D cross C4. This is called Slav accepted. Then Slav Dutch variation is there: D4, D5, C4, C6, knight F3, knight F6, knight C3. Both the knights are taken out by white. This cross is D cross C4, A4, bishop to F5, E3, E6, and bishop cross C4. This is Dutch variation. Then Slav exchange variation is there: D4, D5, C4, C6, and C cross D5. White crosses the pawn, and C cross D5 again. So this is the exchange variation of Slav. Now here we'll see how Slav is commonly played, that is the most popular moves in Slav: D4, D5, C4, C6, which is obviously a Dutch variation, is very commonly played or popularly played. So I'll be showing that again here, but till castle I'll be showing. Knight F3, knight F6, knight C3, D cross C4, A4, bishop F5, E3, E6, bishop cross C6, bishop to B4, and pinning the knight here, and then white castles and black castles. So these are the moves I have found from Chess Explorer and are the most commonly played moves. I'll see one game in this. Now look at the chart at the left, because it shows D4, D5, C4 as the moves of the Queen's Gambit, and then Slav is c6. c6. This is a game between Magnus Carlsen, in fact, and Meme Rao. So both great players. Knight f3 common move, knight f6 common, which is of the Dutch type variation. e3, g6. He prepares for the fianchet of black. Knight c3. White is taking out both the knights. g7, fianchet of the bishop. Bishop to e2. Black castles, white castles. b6, this pawn. a4, a5, c cross d4, c cross d4. At the center, both white has got 2 pawns on d and e file, and black also has got 2 pawns. So both are maintaining the center. b3, knight e4, knight cross e4, d cross e4, knight to d2, bishop b7, bishop a3, f5. It's a middle long chain of pawn here. Black. Rook to c1, king to h8, knight c4, knight d7, d5, rook to c8, d6, e6 locks the pawn, b4, a cross b4, bishop cross b4, bishop to d5, a5, b cross a5, bishop cross a5, and threatens the queen here. Queen goes to e8, queen to a4, bishop c6, queen to b4, king to b8, rook to b8, sorry, threatening the queen. Knight b6, knight e5, queen c5, bishop to a8, bishop to c3, knight to d8, bishop cross g7. Now this is crossing the bishop, king cross g7, knight cross d7 crosses the knight here, queen cross d7, queen to e5 and check. And now here black has resigned. So we'll see the next moves I obtain from computer. King goes to h6, rook to c7, queen to a4, queen to g7 and check, king to g5, h4 and check, king cross h4, queen to a6 and checkmate. So this was a game played and won by Magnus Carlsen. You should study such games. So next I will be discussing all this Chigorin defense, Albion counter, gambit, Baltic defense, symmetrical defense, Marshall defense, etc. in my next videos. Keep watching. Thank you. Please subscribe this channel.